Welcome to the Hidden Wealth Coins. What if the loose change in your pocket is secretly worth a fortune? Hidden among ordinary-looking coins could be rare treasures waiting to explode in value. From shining dollar coins to simple pennies and nickels, certain dates and flawless conditions can turn everyday money into jaw-dropping collectibles. One tiny detail, one perfect grade, or one rare error could transform spare change into a life-changing discovery. First up, imagine reaching into an old jar of coins and pulling out a simple brown penny dated 1953. At first glance, it looks ordinary, worn from decades of passing through countless hands. But what if that tiny copper coin carried a hidden story, one that collectors whisper about and auction rooms respect? The 1953 Wheat Penny is not a myth, not a fantasy, but a real piece of American history. While it won't automatically make you a billionaire overnight, in the right condition and with the right characteristics, it can be far more valuable than 1 cent. Understanding its true worth requires knowledge, patience, and a collector's eye. The coin you're talking about belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny series, officially known as the Wheat Cent. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, making it the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real historical figure. On the front, you see Lincoln's profile. On the back, 2 wheat stalks frame the words, 1 cent, symbolizing agricultural strength and national growth. By 1953, this design had already been in circulation for over 4 decades, which makes every 1953 example part of a long and respected tradition in American coinage. The 1953 Wheat Penny was minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. Denver coins show a small D, and San Francisco coins display an S. Each mint produced millions of coins that year, so in general, the 1953 penny is not rare by mintage numbers alone. However, rarity is not only about how many were made, it is about how many survived in high condition. Most 1953 pennies circulated heavily, meaning sharp details wore down over time. That is where condition becomes the real key to value. When people talk about a coin being worth thousands or even approaching incredible prices, they are usually referring to coins graded in extremely high mint state, often labeled MS65, MS66, or even higher by professional grading services. A 1953 Wheat Penny in average circulated condition might only be worth a few cents above face value, but an uncirculated coin with full red luster, no scratches, no discoloration, and sharp original detail can command much higher prices in the collector market. The difference between a worn brown coin and a bright red mint state coin can be dramatic. There is also the important matter of color designation. Collectors classify copper coins like the 1953 Wheat Penny as brown BN, red-brown RMB, or red road. A full red coin means it has retained most of its original mint luster and copper color. These are the coins that bring premium prices. A 1953s or 1953'd in high-grade red condition can reach impressive values at auction compared to common circulated examples. The market rewards preservation, and that is why people carefully store and protect coins in holders and slabs. Now let's talk honestly about the $1 million dream. A regular 1953 Wheat Penny, even in high grade, does not usually sell for millions of dollars. However, coins with unusual errors or extraordinary grading records can reach surprisingly high prices. For example, if a 1953 penny were discovered with a dramatic mint error, such as a major off-center strike, double die effect, or wrong planchet strike, its value could multiply significantly. Error coins create excitement because they are accidental and unique, and uniqueness drives demand in the numismatic world. Another factor that can elevate value is population rarity. If only a few coins exist in the highest certified grade, collectors compete fiercely for them. Auction competition can push prices far beyond typical market expectations. That does not mean every 1953 penny is a hidden treasure, but it does mean that a flawless example in top certified condition could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on demand. The key is verification through professional grading rather than assumption. The 1953 penny was struck primarily in bronze, composed mostly of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. By this time, the United States Mint had already moved past the steel cents of World War II and returned to traditional bronze composition. That copper composition gives the coin its warm color and makes it sensitive to environmental damage. Moisture, fingerprints, and improper cleaning can permanently reduce value. Many people unknowingly destroy a coin's potential by polishing or scrubbing it, thinking they are improving it. In reality, cleaning almost always lowers collector value. Collectors also pay attention to strike quality. Some 1953 pennies show weak details in Lincoln's hair or the wheat lines on the reverse. A sharply struck coin with crisp lettering and full wheat detail stands out. Even small differences can influence grading results. When you hold a truly high-grade example under proper lighting, you can see cartwheel luster rotating across the surface. That visual effect is one of the strongest indicators that a coin has never been circulated. While the 1953 wheat penny may not typically create overnight billionaires, it represents something powerful. The idea that ordinary objects can carry hidden value. Many valuable coins were discovered in pocket change, old collections, or inherited jars. The dream is not foolish. It simply requires realistic expectations, a rare error, a top population grade, or an exceptionally preserved example is what transforms a common coin into a high-value collectible. Knowledge separates hype from opportunity. In the broader historical context, 1953 was the final year of Harry S. Truman's presidency before Dwight D. Eisenhower took office. The wheat penny circulated during a time of post-war growth and Cold War tension. Every 1953 cent passed through a world very different from today's digital economy. That historical backdrop adds emotional and cultural value beyond pure market price. Collectors appreciate coins not only for money, but for the stories they carry. If you truly believe you may have a special 1953 wheat penny, the smartest step is to avoid cleaning it and consider professional evaluation. Certification companies examine authenticity, condition, and surface preservation. Once encapsulated in a graded holder, the coin becomes easier to sell and trusted in the marketplace. Without grading, claims of million-dollar value remain speculation. With grading, you have proof, and proof creates confidence among buyers. The market for classic American coins remains strong because collectors continue entering the hobby. Demand shifts over time, and prices can rise or stabilize depending on economic conditions and collector interest. A top-grade 1953 red penny may not guarantee unimaginable wealth, but it can certainly be a prized asset in a serious collection. The true fortune lies in understanding what you own and recognizing the difference between circulated copper and investment-grade rarity. The 1953 wheat penny is not magic, but it is meaningful. It is a symbol of American history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery. If you ever find one in brilliant uncirculated condition, especially with strong red color or a dramatic mint error, treat it carefully and have it evaluated. It may not turn you into a billionaire overnight, but it could absolutely surprise you with value far beyond 1 cent. And sometimes, the real power of a coin is not just the money it brings, but the knowledge and opportunity it unlocks for the one who understands it. Second up. Imagine holding a simple 5-cent coin from 1964 and realizing that what looks ordinary could actually carry hidden power. The 1964 Jefferson nickel is one of the most talked about coins in American pocket change history. At first glance, it appears common, struck in huge numbers, and used in everyday transactions. But in the world of serious collectors, condition, rarity within grade, and unusual mint characteristics can transform this modest nickel into something far more exciting than its face value suggests. The dream of discovering a coin worth thousands or more begins with understanding what truly makes a 1964 nickel special. The coin belongs to the long-running Jefferson Nickels series. First introduced in 1938, it features the profile of Thomas Jefferson on the front, honoring the author of the Declaration of Independence and the nation's third president. On the reverse, the design shows Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home. By 1964, this design had already been circulating for more than 2 decades, becoming one of the most recognizable coins in American commerce. The year 1964 marked a period of economic growth and change in the United States, making coins from that year part of an important historical moment. The 1964 Jefferson nickel was produced in enormous quantities, especially at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Because of these high production numbers, most examples are common in circulated condition. Millions pass through cash registers, vending machines, and hands across the country. That widespread use explains why worn examples today are usually worth only face value. However, mintage numbers alone do not decide ultimate value. What truly separates ordinary coins from extraordinary ones is preservation. When collectors discuss value, they focus on grading. A circulated 1964 nickel with visible wear on Jefferson's hair and flat details on Monticello will not command strong premiums. But an uncirculated example, one that never entered commerce, can be far more desirable. In mint state condition, the coin retains original luster, sharp detail, and no signs of wear. Coins graded MS65, MS66 or higher are dramatically rarer than lower-grade pieces because very few survive in flawless condition after decades. One of the most important factors for 1964 nickels is the full steps designation. On the reverse of the coin, the steps of Monticello are visible. In many coins, these steps appear weak or partially blended due to heavy striking or die wear. But when a coin shows fully separated, sharp steps, collectors consider it a premium example. A 1964 nickel with full steps and high mint state grade can reach impressive prices compared to ordinary uncirculated pieces. This is where serious value begins to emerge. There are also special varieties and mint errors that increase interest. Some 1964 nickels display double die features, repunched mint marks, or other striking irregularities. Error coins are accidental creations of the minting process, and because they are unintended, they are limited in number. A dramatic doubling effect or a major off-center strike can multiply the value many times over. Collectors are drawn to uniqueness, and when rarity meets high condition, prices rise sharply. Although claims of million-dollar 1964 nickels are often exaggerated, it is important to understand how auction dynamics work. If a coin is certified in an extremely high grade with full steps and has an exceptionally low population in that grade, competitive bidding can drive the price far beyond normal expectations. In rare cases, coins from common years have achieved surprisingly high results simply because only a handful exist at the very top level. That is where serious money enters the picture, not because the year itself is rare, but because perfection is rare. The 1964 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Unlike wartime nickels made with silver, the 1964 issue returned to the standard composition. This metal mixture gives the coin its durable silver-gray appearance. Over time, nickels can develop toning ranging from light gold to deep blue-gray. Natural toning does not necessarily reduce value and can even enhance eye appeal if attractive. And even, however, cleaning or polishing almost always damages the surface and lowers collector demand. Surface quality plays a major role in determining value. Even tiny contact marks, known as bag marks, can reduce a coin's grade. During 1964, coins were stored in large bags, and as they shifted and moved, they bumped against each other. That contact left marks on many pieces before they even entered circulation. A 1964 nickel with minimal marks and strong luster stands out sharply from the majority. Such coins are scarce because most were never preserved carefully from the beginning. Historical context adds depth to the coin's story. The year 1964 was significant in American history. marked by social change, economic growth, and national transformation. Coins struck during that year passed through a country experiencing rapid modernization. Every surviving nickel carries silent witness to that era. Collectors often appreciate coins not only for price potential, but for their connection to moments in time. Professional grading is essential for any high-value claim. Without certification, it is nearly impossible to convince serious buyers that a coin deserves top dollar. Grading services evaluate authenticity, surface preservation, luster, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. Once sealed in a certified holder, the coin becomes easier to trade and auction. This step transforms speculation into verified value. It is also important to separate fantasy from realistic opportunity. A typical circulated 1964 Jefferson nickel will not change anyone's life financially. However, a superb gem example with full steps, blazing luster, and virtually flawless surfaces can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Add a rare error or an elite population ranking, and the number climbs further. True wealth in coin collecting comes from knowledge and patience, not from assumptions. The excitement around the 1964 nickel continues because it represents possibility. It reminds collectors that even common date coins can hold hidden potential under the right circumstances. The difference between 5 cents and a high-value collectible lies in condition, rarity within grade, and demand among serious buyers. That transformation is what fuels the thrill of searching through old rolls and inherited collections. In the end, the 1964 Jefferson nickel is not a guaranteed path to overnight billions, but it is a powerful example of how ordinary objects can carry extraordinary potential. If preserved in exceptional mint state condition with full steps or rare mint errors, it can command significant premiums in today's market. The true power of the coin lies not in wild promises, but in the disciplined understanding of grading, rarity, and collector demand. Those who approach it with knowledge rather than hype are the ones who unlock its real value. Third up. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a 1988 quarter that looks completely ordinary, yet secretly holds the potential to shock the collector world. The 1988 Washington quarter is not usually the first coin people associate with extreme value, but under the right circumstances, it can become far more than just 25 cents. Most examples are common and heavily circulated, yet a tiny fraction preserved in extraordinary condition or struck with unusual characteristics can command surprising premiums. The difference between pocket change and serious money lies in condition, rarity within grade, and collector demand. This coin belongs to the historic Washington Quarter series, one of the longest-running designs in American coinage. The obverse features George Washington, honoring the first president of the United States. By 1988, this design had already been circulating for over 5 decades. The reverse at that time displayed the traditional eagle design, long before the State Quarters program transformed the series in 1999. That means the 1988 issue represents one of the final years of the classic eagleback era. In 1988, quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver for circulation, with proof versions struck in San Francisco. Large numbers were produced, which means most 1988 quarters found in circulation today are worth only face value. However, mintage numbers alone do not decide true worth. What truly matters is how many survive in exceptional condition. The vast majority were used in everyday commerce, dropped into vending machines, carried in wallets, stacked in cash drawers. Few were preserved carefully from the moment they were struck. Condition is everything. A circulated 1988 quarter with worn details on Washington's hair and flat feathers on the eagle will never command high prices. But an uncirculated example, still blazing with original mint luster and free from wear, enters a different category. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels, such as MS-67 or above, are dramatically rarer than average uncirculated pieces. At those elite levels, even a common date coin can become scarce because perfection is scarce. Surface preservation plays a massive role. During the minting process, freshly struck quarters were stored in large bags. As they shifted and collided with each other, contact marks formed. These small nicks and abrasions reduce grade potential. A 1988 quarter that somehow avoided heavy contact and retained smooth, clean surfaces stands apart from the rest. Collectors pay strong premiums for coins that look nearly flawless under magnification. Another powerful factor is strike quality. Some 1988 quarters show weaker details, especially in Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers. A sharply struck coin with crisp detail and bold lines is more desirable. Strong strike combined with high luster creates eye appeal, the quality that makes a collector pause and admire a coin instantly. Eye appeal can dramatically influence auction outcomes when two coins share similar technical grades. Proof versions of the 1988 quarter add another layer of interest. Proof coins are specially made for collectors, struck with polished dies and mirror-like fields. Deep cameo examples, where the frosted design contrasts sharply with reflective backgrounds, can command impressive prices in perfect grades. A proof coin graded PR70, meaning flawless under magnification, is far rarer than most people realize. In such elite condition, values can climb far beyond face value. There is also the world of mint errors. Although rare, error coins can transform an ordinary 1988 quarter into a highly desirable collectible. Off-center strikes, double die features, clipped planchettes, or dramatic die cracks create uniqueness. Because errors are accidental and limited, collectors compete aggressively for dramatic examples. A spectacular error in high grade can reach thousands of dollars depending on demand and visual impact. However, the idea of a regular 1988 quarter automatically being worth millions is unrealistic. The path to extraordinary value requires a perfect combination of factors: extremely high certified grade, low population numbers at that grade, strong demand, and possibly unique features. Auction history shows that coins reach astonishing prices when only one or two examples exist at the top level. It is not the year alone that creates wealth. It is rarity within condition. Metal composition also defines this coin. By 1988, quarters were struck using a copper core layered with nickel, giving them a silver appearance without containing precious metal. That means their value does not come from silver content, but from collectability. Unlike pre-1965 quarters made of 90% silver, the 1988 issue depends entirely on condition and scarcity for premium value. Professional grading becomes essential if a coin appears exceptional. Without certification, even a high-quality coin remains just a claim. Grading services evaluate luster, surface marks, strike sharpness, and eye appeal before assigning a numerical grade. Once sealed in a protective holder, the coin becomes more liquid in the market. Buyers trust certified grades, and trust translates into stronger prices. Historical context adds depth to the coin's story. The year 1988 represented a modern America shaped by technological growth and global influence. Coins from that era circulated in a fast-changing economy. While they are not ancient relics, they represent a snapshot of late 20th century life. For collectors, even modern coins hold historical importance when preserved in pristine condition. The excitement surrounding modern quarters like the 1988 issue comes from the idea that hidden treasures may still be sitting in rolls, jars, or forgotten collections. While most will remain worth face value, a tiny fraction preserved in elite condition can achieve surprising auction results. That possibility keeps collectors searching, examining, and grading. In the end, the 1988 Washington quarter is not a guaranteed ticket to overnight billions. Yet under the right circumstances, flawless mint state preservation, perfect proof condition, or dramatic mint error, it can command significant premiums far beyond 25 cents. The true power of this coin lies not in exaggerated promises, but in understanding how rarity, condition, and demand intersect. Knowledge transforms an ordinary quarter into an opportunity, and opportunity is where real value begins. Fourth up. Imagine discovering a golden-colored dollar coin from 2001 in your collection and realizing it might hold far more power than its face value suggests. The 2001 Sacagawea dollar often looks ordinary at first glance, yet under the right conditions, it can command serious attention from collectors. While most examples are common and trade close to $1, a tiny fraction preserved in extraordinary condition or displaying rare characteristics can bring impressive premiums. The dream of overnight fortune is fueled by stories of rare coins achieving massive prices, and although not every coin reaches that level, the possibility of hidden value keeps collectors searching. This coin belongs to the modern Sacagawea Dollar series introduced in 2000. The obverse features Sacagawea, the Shoshone woman who guided the Lewis and Clark expedition along with her infant son. The reverse of the 2001 issue continues the soaring eagle design that symbolized strength and exploration. Unlike older silver dollars, this coin carries a golden appearance created by a manganese brass outer layer bonded to a copper core. That warm color gives it instant visual impact and makes it stand out among circulating coins. The P Mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 2001, production numbers were high, meaning millions entered circulation. Because of this large mintage, most 2001 Sacagawea dollars are easy to find and worth face value in circulated condition. However, survival in perfect mint state condition is far less common than people assume. Coins released into commerce often suffer small contact marks, scratches, or dulling of their original shine. Condition is the true gatekeeper of value. A circulated 2001 dollar with visible wear, nicks, or discoloration will remain ordinary. But an uncirculated example with blazing luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details can move into premium territory. At the highest certified grades, such as MS-67 or MS-68, the coin becomes significantly scarcer. Perfection is difficult to achieve because even minor marks reduce a coin's grade. The higher the grade climbs, the fewer examples exist. One of the most talked about aspects of Sacagawea dollars is the possibility of special varieties. In the early years of the series, certain coins displayed unique finish qualities or experimental characteristics. Although those special varieties are rare and not typical circulation strikes, their existence fuels excitement around the series. Collectors carefully examine 2001 coins under magnification, searching for unusual surfaces, die variations, or striking anomalies that could elevate value. Mint errors also create opportunity. Off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchettes, or dramatic die cracks can transform a common coin into a collectible prize. Error coins are accidental by nature, and their rarity drives demand. A major error on a 2001 Sacagawea dollar, especially if preserved in high grade, could reach strong auction results. The combination of error, rarity, and mint state preservation is where extraordinary prices begin to form. Proof-like brilliance is another factor. Some circulation strikes display exceptional luster that resembles proof coins. When the surfaces are smooth and reflective with strong contrast, collectors notice immediately. Eye appeal can significantly influence auction outcomes, especially when two coins share similar technical grades. A coin that shines with bold, untouched brilliance often attracts more aggressive bidding. It is important to understand that claims of automatic million-dollar value are usually exaggerated. A standard 2001 Sacagawea dollar in average condition will not make anyone wealthy overnight. However, coins certified at the absolute top of the grading scale with extremely low population numbers can bring surprisingly high prices. Auction competition among advanced collectors can push elite examples far beyond their modest beginnings. Scarcity at the highest grade level, not the date alone, is what creates dramatic value. The composition of the coin adds to its durability, but also affects preservation. The manganese brass outer layer can tone over time, developing shades of gold, bronze, or even subtle rainbow hues. Natural toning does not automatically reduce value, and can enhance visual appeal if attractive, and even cleaning, however, almost always harms a coin's surface. Polishing removes original mint luster and leaves hairline scratches that grading services detect easily. Professional certification is essential when a coin appears exceptional. Without grading from a respected service, claims of high value remain speculation. Grading evaluates surface preservation, strike sharpness, luster, and overall eye appeal before assigning a numerical score. Once sealed in a tamper-resistant holder, the coin becomes easier to sell and more trusted in the marketplace. Serious buyers rely on certified grades before investing large amounts of money. Historically, the Sacagawea dollar marked a shift in modern American coinage. It replaced the Susan B. Anthony dollar in hopes of encouraging wider public use. Although it did not circulate as heavily as expected, it became popular among collectors. The 2001 P issue stands as part of that early era, representing the second full year of the series. Every coin from that year carries a piece of early 21st century American history. The excitement surrounding the 2001 P Sacagawea dollar continues because it represents possibility. Many people still overlook dollar coins in drawers or change jars, unaware that exceptional examples could hold premium value. While most remain worth face value, a select few preserved in near-perfect condition or displaying rare errors can command strong collector interest. That gap between ordinary and extraordinary keeps the search alive. In the end, the 2001 P Sacagawea dollar is not guaranteed to create overnight billionaires, yet under the right circumstances, top certified grade, rare variety, or dramatic mint error, it can rise far beyond $1 in market value. The true power of this coin lies in knowledge, careful examination, and realistic expectations. When rarity, condition, and demand align, even a modern golden dollar can transform from everyday change into a prized collectible with impressive worth. Fifth up. Imagine holding a large, heavy $1,978 coin in your hand and feeling the weight of possibility. At first glance, it may seem like just another old coin tucked away in a drawer, but under the right circumstances, a 1978 Eisenhower dollar can command serious attention in the collector market. Most examples are common and trade near face value, yet a small number preserved in exceptional condition or displaying rare characteristics can rise far beyond $1. The idea of unimaginable wealth may sound dramatic, but in coin collecting, rarity within condition is what transforms ordinary metal into something extraordinary. This coin belongs to the bold and historic Eisenhower Dollar series, the last large-sized dollar coin struck for regular circulation in the United States. The obverse features Dwight D. Eisenhower honoring the former president and World War II general. The reverse design showcases an eagle landing on the moon, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, symbolizing American achievement in space exploration. By 1978, this series was reaching its final year, making the 1978 issue the closing chapter of an era in U.S. coinage. The 1978 Eisenhower dollar was minted primarily in Philadelphia and Denver for circulation, with proof coins produced for collectors. Because millions were struck, most circulated examples today are easy to find. These coins often show wear on Eisenhower's cheek and hair, along with dulling on the eagle's details. In such condition, their value remains modest. However, preservation changes everything. A coin that never entered circulation and still retains strong original luster enters a completely different category. Mint state condition is the gateway to higher value. Coins graded MS65 and above are significantly scarcer than lower-grade pieces. Large dollar coins like the Eisenhower are especially prone to contact marks because of their size and weight. When stored in mint bags, they bumped into each other repeatedly, leaving nicks and abrasions. A $1,978 that somehow avoided heavy contact and displays smooth, clean surfaces becomes highly desirable among advanced collectors. Strike quality also plays a major role. Some 1978 Eisenhower dollars show weaker details, particularly in the hair above Eisenhower's ear, or in the eagle's feathers. A sharply struck example with crisp lines and full detail stands out immediately. Collectors examine these areas carefully because strong strike quality combined with minimal marks can push a coin into higher grading territory. At elite grade levels, even a common year becomes scarce because perfection is rare. Proof versions of the 1978 Eisenhower dollar add another layer of excitement. Proof coins were specially struck with polished dies to create mirror-like fields and frosted design elements. Deep cameo examples, with a contrast between reflective surfaces and frosted devices, is dramatic, are particularly prized. A proof coin graded PR70 represents technical perfection under magnification. Such coins are far rarer than typical proof pieces and can command impressive premiums in the collector market. Composition is another important factor. Circulation strikes from 1978 were made of copper nickel clad, giving them a silver appearance without containing significant precious metal. Some earlier Eisenhower dollars were struck in 40% silver for collectors, but the standard 1978 circulation issues rely entirely on condition and rarity for value. That means the coin's worth does not come from silver content, but from collector demand and grade scarcity. Mint errors can dramatically increase value. Off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, major die cracks, or double die features create uniqueness. Because errors are accidental and limited in number, collectors often compete aggressively for dramatic examples. A 1978 Eisenhower dollar with a major error and high-grade preservation could reach strong auction results. The combination of size, visual impact, and rarity makes such pieces especially appealing. It is important to separate hype from realistic potential. A standard circulated 1978 Eisenhower dollar will not create overnight billionaires. However, an exceptionally preserved coin in the highest certified grade, especially with very low population numbers, can sell for significant amounts. Auction competition among dedicated collectors can push prices higher than many expect. The market rewards the rarest and finest examples, not the average ones. Professional grading is essential for establishing true value. Without certification, claims of extraordinary worth remain speculation. Grading services evaluate luster, surface marks, strike sharpness, and overall eye appeal before assigning a numerical grade. Once sealed in a certified holder, the coin becomes easier to sell and trusted in the marketplace. Buyers are willing to pay strong prices when condition is verified by recognized authorities. The year 1978 marked the final release of the large Eisenhower dollar before smaller dollar coins took its place. That historical transition adds emotional appeal. Collectors often view the 1978 issue as the closing note of a bold, oversized American dollar era. Holding one feels different from holding modern small dollars, and that physical presence contributes to its charm. Eye appeal can sometimes outweigh technical details. A coin with radiant luster and attractive toning may command more interest than one with a slightly higher grade but dull appearance. Subtle gold, blue, or rainbow toning on a 1978 Eisenhower dollar can enhance its beauty if natural. And even, however, cleaning or polishing destroys originality and almost always lowers value. The thrill of searching through old collections for a flawless 1978 Eisenhower dollar continues to attract collectors. While most examples remain modest in value, the possibility of discovering a top-grade gem or dramatic error keeps enthusiasm alive. The gap between ordinary and extraordinary is wide, but it exists, and that is what fuels the excitement of numismatics. In the end, the 1978 Eisenhower dollar is not guaranteed to change anyone's fortune overnight, yet in elite mint state or perfect proof condition, especially with rare errors or exceptionally low certified populations, it can command impressive premiums far beyond $1. The true power of this coin lies not in exaggerated promises, but in understanding how condition, rarity, and demand intersect. When those elements align, even a final year Eisenhower dollar can transform from simple pocket change into a prized and valuable collectible.